Hello, fellow peasants. This is Steve.
And Scott.
And today we're going to talk about student loan debt forgiveness. And we're going to tell you why later in the program, why we're calling you peasants and why we're calling us peasants.
I'm so excited.
Now I can know why I'm a peasant, right? So, as you know, the Biden Harris Idiocracy has approved student loan cancellation of $132 billion.
With a B.
Billion with a B. And to date, well, that got shot down by the Supreme Court, right?
Well, we thought.
Well, yeah.
And they thought, and the Supreme Court thought.
There's always a workaround, right?
Yeah.
The other party will find it. So SCOTUS said that the federal government exceeded its authority with the relief plan. Chief Justice John Roberts said that the HEROES Act will give the Secretary of Education unlimited power to relieve whatever kind of debt. And this might bleed into like the housing, the Secretary of Housing. It might bleed into that. But that's what he said. That's why they shot it down. So it was broad. They wanted it narrow. So the dissent opinion by Sotomayor said that the majority's broadening of the major questions doctrine, that's what this doctrine is, that's what they're arguing, would require explicit authorization from Congress to do anything of national significance.
Well, that makes me feel a whole lot better that Congress can go ahead and approve that.
It's a check, right?
It's
a check on balance of power.
Just like we talked about yesterday, they're good at giving away money. They're at our money.
Right.
They're just good at giving it away. They spend it.
That's a good point. Jason Chaffetz, former Utah congressman, he was talking about how the Dems had cracked the code on getting votes, and one of those was money. Everybody wants money. If you can tax and spend, you can get that money to get those votes. And this is one way, right?
Oh, absolutely. This is definitely a vote buying scheme from this administration. It's out of control. I didn't tell anybody to go to college. It's not forced that you go to college. It's not forced that you pick a degree that's going to cost a lot of money. And, I guess the gamble would be is do you try to find a job or an education that's going to get you a profession or a job that will allow you to pay those loans back. Just like if you're buying a home or buying a car or buying anything on time, you agree to pay that back. And, why do they feel that they need to have it forgiven? Again, I didn't tell them to pick a degree in gender studies or basket weaving.
I think this accelerated with the COVID where they weren't making payments and they thought, you know what, I still don't want to make payments. And then that's where he busted out with the student loan forgiveness.
Yeah, and we could sidebar into all kinds of things like landlords not being able to evict or start eviction proceedings on people that are running their properties. Same type of deal. It's a restriction. It's more control. Again, getting back to the peasant thing that we'll talk about later.
So they always have workarounds. So Biden says that I think the court misinterpreted the Constitution. Yeah, right. Well, they're educated judges on that court. So
maybe 3 or 4 did, but not the majority, I would think.
Right, not the majority, yeah. So the revamp plan is going to narrow it down. It'll provide support to students and institutions. Borrowers that miss a student loan payment in the first 12 months after payments resume from COVID will temporarily not be threatened or have their credit ruined. That's interest that the government's not collecting now. Thank you very much. Forgiveness is income driven, so if they say you've got an income at a threshold level that's low, like teachers, for example, or public defenders, for example, they could have you could be a public defender for 10 years? And then go into private practice for 10 times what you're making as a public defender?
Where does that money go that's going to be forgiven? That's just going to go right into the debt, correct?
Yeah, because that's money that the government was going to get back that would pay down the debt, or less money you have to spend elsewhere.
Yeah, not good business. Definitely not good business.
Yeah. So, and they're going to take that public service loan to the forgiveness law to alter it significantly. So, you saw a statistic earlier about how much per person it would cost per person to pay for this default.
Yeah, at the current value, if this doesn't go up, which it always goes up in with the government, right? They're never accurate with their numbers. Right now, it's going to cost. It would cost each taxpayer about $1,800, which is, that may not be a lot of money to some people, but
that's a tax.
That's a tax right off the top that you're going to pay.
It's a head tax.
Pay at the end of the year to try and pay down this forgiveness.
If you're an auto worker, or you're a mechanic, or a bus driver, or a construction
waitress,
guy,
or a waiter in a
who never went to college,
in a restaurant, yeah, exactly.
You're paying for public defender to get his loan forgiven.
Yeah, it is just not right.
What about
I don't like to throw the fair word around, but that is just flat out not fair.
What about the let me talk. What about the people who paid their loans? All the people, like, I paid my loan, right? And my wife, we had the choice. Do we wait? Do we roll on the Biden thing, or do we do the right thing and pay off her loans? We paid off her loans. There's people out there that'll do it.
You did the right thing.
Yeah.
Right.
So what about those people who've already paid their loans?
Well,
I want reparations.
Yeah.
I want reparations. Give me education reparations.
That'll be another good conversation to have.
Right? I'll use my white privilege card to get reparations for my educations.
Yeah, good luck with that. I mean, usually it's the people that do the right thing are usually the ones that take it in the fanny.
So recently, the Idiocracy announced an additional $4.8 billion in student loan relief. Borrowers that don't fall into that narrow workaround still have not made payments since the pause. And so they're using this as a form of boycott, protest. They're not making their payments. Now they're going to ruin their credit because they have to make payments, but they're trying to hold out so that the government will forgive their debt.
Well, and that'll just be another reason for another Improve My Credit or FixMyCredit.com company to come pop up and do that. And again, I'm not disputing people trying to fix their credit, but when you go out of your way to default on a loan that nobody forced you to make, then you get what you get. A battery's a battery.
That's what we said the other day.
Exactly. I mean, there's no way around it. I mean, we have lost and are continuing to lose more and more common sense about some of these things every day, and it's very frustrating.
So what's next? What's next that people are going to default on if they can get rewarded for, let's say, this October? What's the next thing that Biden's going to do to offer free money?
I mean,
mortgages?
Could be mortgages.
Yeah, we'll forgive your mortgage if it's Fannie Mae.
Could be loans on some type of government-funded program, like you mentioned earlier, solar.
Yeah, we'll forgive it. Just vote for us, right?
Right. Another way to buy votes.
Yep. And that goes back to Jason Chaffetz saying that people want money, and this is gonna, like we said, the debt $2 trillion over the next 10 years. That's gonna make it $45 trillion in 2034, right? This is gonna just keep creeping up more and more until it busts like another 1929, right? It busts, and then hyperinflation.
If it lasts that long. It could come sooner than that.
And we're not trying to paint a doom picture.
Yeah, exactly. But they keep moving the goalposts, and I already can't see them. They're just it's out there.
They're kicking the can, and it might, like you were saying yesterday, your grandchildren might feel the pain from this.
Right. My grandchildren, my grandchildren's grandchildren, our kids.
You got beautiful grandkids, by the way.
Thank you, by the way. I appreciate that. So I'll let their parents know.
Okay. So you were mentioning earlier, this ties into the mortgages. Jeff Bezos has got something cooking.
Yeah, he's starting a real estate investment company where you can invest as little as $100, I think, into this company, and
be a shareholder.
Be a shareholder, yeah. And I don't know what kind of a return on your investment you're going to get for $100, but they're going around the country and they're buying up single-family homes. And the direction, I believe, is to get into the rental market or selling new family homes. but I believe its direction is more towards rental, and it's a transfer of wealth. And it's a scary thing because that's going to drive prices up, which we already know are kind of high, along with interest rates. And it's going to make it pretty hard for people to buy their first home or move up. And
so they're not going to do it. Let's just rent.
That could be the new norm.
It's going to be like going back to the medieval times, right? Where you have landlords. The lords have the land, and the peasants farm it or do whatever the peasants do for their rent on that land.
Yep. So you got the sheriff of Nottingham, and he's taxing you and renting you the little grass hut that you live in, and that's what you get, and you're gonna like it. Sad deal. Sad deal.
Going back, just go.
We need to
rewind
talk
a little
about
bit.
We need to talk about some happy stuff one of these times.
I know, we do. We do. Let's put that on the list. Get some happy stuff.
We'll get to that.
So rewinding to what Jason Chaffetz said, give away the money, right? So this last election, presidential election, I think it was like 80 million voted for Biden, 71 million for Trump, something like that. Like a 9 million delta there.
Yeah.
Right? So we looked at the applicants for the student loan debt forgiveness. There were 26.3 million out of all the 50 states. California had the most. Texas was next. New York was next. Right?
Shocking.
26 million applicants. 16. This is whitehouse.gov. It's on the internet, so it must be real.
Yeah, we're not making up these
true,
numbers.
True. So, or maybe they're spinning them. I don't know. So of that 26.3 million, 16.5 million were approved. And maybe we could assume that they're card-carrying Democrats that were approved. I don't know. The other 10 million were not.
Well, I don't know the exact figure, but I believe that of all the population in the United States, there's about 158 million people that are eligible to vote. So what is that?
That's low.
Yeah.
Well, no, I guess that could
70
be.
and 80.
Yeah,
So,
I guess that could be.
And I don't believe that because the percentage of people that actually vote is pretty high, unfortunately. It's another sad
well,
thing.
dead people vote too. We established that yesterday.
Yeah, and we can't do anything about that. They're going to vote the way they vote. So, but if you take that 26...
The 16.5 that were
16
approved.
and a half that are approved, there's 10%, right?
That could swing it.
Is that 10%? Am I doing the math right?
And exactly, you got good math. Normally it's been like 51% to 49%. The person wins, right, by 2%. You get these free money people, vote for me, I'll give you money. Yeah. That swings the vote.
Yeah, what
just
was that
tax and spend.
A few years
tax
ago
and
when probably before both of us were born, but a chicken in every pot and a car in every garage, wasn't that a that was a campaign
right
slogan for
1929
like,
in 1930s.
Yeah, 1930s, 1940s, somewhere in there.
So
yeah, people like free stuff, and there's
nothing
wrong with free stuff, but somebody's got to have to pay it. I always tell my grandkids that nothing's free. Somebody's got to have to pay for it.
Okay, that's all the time we have for today. If you liked what you saw, hit the subscribe button, right?
Yep, subscribe, view, make a comment if you want to do that.
Send it to your relatives, to your family, to your enemies, whatever.
Yep.
Have them subscribe too.
Yep.
We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, you guys have a good day. Take care.
Bye.